As you can see with this burn here, this is only about a month post-burn. You can already see the regrowth that's already come up on that. We've received some decent amount of rain, and you can see that stuff just responds very quickly. You're not going to see huge amounts of growth as if you burned it in the spring and didn't graze it all summer long, and it looks there's a whole lot of forage and everything there. You're not going to see that, but stuff's going to respond and come back. As you can see here, the blackberries that were burned in that's a month of growth back on them. You can see that a lot of them are 6 to 12 inches. Some of them are even taller than 12 inches, a foot tall, and that's just barely over a month's time period. So, blackberries love fire. They're adapted to fire, and as you can see, you burn it, they're gonna grow. But also, as you can see, where that fire has gone through that has definitely changed the structure of that mott of blackberries. It's not that big old dense thick mott. And so again, it's just like what we've seen with the sumac and stuff. It's about fire frequency. How often you burn through those blackberry thickets. You can keep them thin with a lot of grass and forage coming up through them, and so cattle will utilize them. Also, I've actually seen cattle eat blackberries that after they burned, they'll eat the tops out of the reach sprouts, because again, the thorns are really soft. They're not sharp when they're really small coming back. Cattle can walk through it. They don't get tangled up and doing with that. So you get more utilization of it. Also, blackberries are pretty flammable for the most part a lot of times. And so you get them dried just a little bit and get the right conditions, man, you can burn that mott really good. When we burned this one here, conditions were pretty wet. We had to burn in the morning, so we weren't totally dried down like we wanted them to be, because the winds were supposed to pick up pretty strong that afternoon. So we burned in the morning. Wasn't the most favorable conditions. We had received rain just a couple of days prior to burning, so the leaf moisture and the fuel moisture was pretty high on all this. So as you can see, we didn't get a really good burn through this mott of blackberries, but we got a start on it, and that's a lot of it. It didn't get that way overnight, and it's not going to change overnight. And so now the next time we burn it, this area that we burned, if we burn within the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to have more grass fuels in there. So hopefully a fire is going to run and hit more and impact more of the mott. You're just going to have to a lot of times slowly chisel away at some of those things like that. I know people that have done a little bit of mowing, gone in and mowed around the edges and stuff, just knock a little bit of that stuff down to kind of maybe help with the burning. You could pile some stuff if you wanted to, but most of the time, most motts aren't typically that large. You could burn a place in the spring, allow it to grow. When it goes dormant in the fall, you could burn it again. Within 6 months, you could have 2 fires. You could have an area that carries 2 fires. Just to reiterate, this fire frequency is the most important thing to remember, that you've got to keep burning. Keep putting fire on the ground.